Welcome, everybody, to Queen Bees 2020. I'm Queen Bee Baumgarth.
I'm Queen Bee Buhrow.
And we have a special guest today.
We do. Oh, me? Okay. We have our friend Jeff with us today. We met Jeff through C-Suite, thanks to the pandemic. And he has very graciously agreed to be a guest on our show. So really what we do, Jeff, is we have a conversation about inner peace. So you kind of walk the walk in life. Your whole persona, what you see is what you get. And
it's hard enough being yourself. Why would you want to be somebody else? Right? You know, although I don't know if I'm the guy for inner peace, maybe, because I tend to create a lot of turmoil in my wake, but I would think that inner peace is something that I feel I have to a great extent. This is going to be a great conversation.
Okay, so here is something that struck me as very interesting. You wrote a book called Think Big, Act Bigger. And in that, it's about being relentless. And one thing I heard you say in a interview was an idea without implementation is air.
Right.
And I find that very, very interesting and intriguing, actually, because so many people get stuck by fear. And I've noticed that fear for people tends to hold them back and create that disruption inside of them. Do you use that fear as a launching pad to keep yourself moving forward?
Well, you know, fear, if you really think about it, is only a second or two. Then you either embody the fear and it becomes something that's more than just fear. That's the way you operate, or you move through it. I choose to move through it, like, except for when it comes to heights. That I have a fear of. Okay, so it's not rational, but it's what I have. I just don't like it. I don't like getting near tall things. But you know, when it comes to fear, it's like, think about like you're on that high board at the pool, right? And what's this? And I'm talking about the high board, meaning like 7 feet off the water, not the big tall one that's 15 feet. And when I'm standing on that, I'm scared. But when I jump off, halfway down, I'm going, oh my gosh, this is fun. I want to do it again. And so you have to either say to yourself, and you have to kind of train your mind, trick your mind into saying it's just 1, 2, okay, I'm over it. And I think that's what we have to do, you know, like with business or imagine the first time I met Tammy. Tammy's my wife. You guys have probably seen her in the background, but probably never got a chance to meet her face to face yet. But, you know, I'm 6'3", you know, 200 and some pounds. She's 5'1", 105 pounds. And so yet she scares the living shit out of me. I mean, you know, and I remember the first time I met her, I saw her, I thought, oh my God, this is the one for me. She's the most beautiful woman in the world. Instant chemistry, instant love, the whole bit. And what would have happened had I not overcome my fear and walked across the room? What would my life have been different? And so and every man knows this, because they have that fear when they meet that right one of, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do it? And so they have to overcome that fear. And so I just know there are good things in life when you can overcome that fear. There's good breakthroughs in everything you do, whether it's an internal fear, physical fear, you know, fear of business, fear of this. I think that's what we're programmed to do. It's a natural common tendency to have certain fears. I mean, I work a lot around horses because I love to ride, and I own horses and things. And in horses, and I think about fear, they have been, you know, bred into them over millions of years to run from things because they will eat you. And so, you know, deer are the same way. And so you can see a horse, you have to get the horse to overcome that. I'm not here to eat you. I'm just going to ride you. And when I go up to my horses, which, you know, they're kind of wild anyway, I have to kind of give them that thing, like, I'm safe, I'm okay, you know, and you have to be able to teach them all those kinds of things to be able to do that.
Well, they would be great to do that, but you know my story with horses. I'm a little intimidated by them. I don't like them falling over and dying on me. So
Well, I've had that. We once had a horse that we were riding that gave birth. It was giving birth right in the middle of riding it.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, on a trail ride. I tried to go on a trail ride down the Grand Canyon on a mule, but they have a weight limit where guys like me can't ride on a mule because I'm over 200 pounds. I go, what the heck? What do you think the settlers did? I mean, there were guys my size and they rode a mule. I'm sure,
John Wayne.
Yeah, John Wayne was well over 200 pounds. I mean, and he rode a horse, but he probably rode a mule once or twice in his life, and they wouldn't let me. So I went down the road and rented some horses. I found a little outfitter, and I said, "Hey, well, I want to ride some horses." So we grabbed 4 horses. And I took everybody on a trail ride. So,
well, that's nice. But in the middle of that, or in the middle of, well, first, I guess what we want to know what your chaos is and how you find the inner peace in the midst of chaos. Because your chaos is different than what my chaos is.
I'm one of those kind of people that works pretty good in chaos. And so sometimes I will tell you, I will try to create chaos so that I can be better in it. And so I have to be careful of that. Okay. Because there are certain people, I think that's good for them, because their life was chaotic. That's, what life should be like. That I grew up that way, meaning it was turmoil and, physical abuse, mental abuse, things like that inside that. So I want to create that. That's a natural place for me to be. So I have to learn to get out of it. But when I'm in chaos, I'm actually pretty focused. It's like I'm like in the eye of the storm, and I can see all the stuff going around, and I can get pretty clear on it pretty quick. So the first thing I do is center myself, and then I'm able to operate inside that.
That's awesome. What is your saying?
What's normal for the spider's chaos for the fly?
Ooh, there you go. Yeah. See, my favorite quote is, from Shakespeare, "Let slip the dogs of war, cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war." So that kind of gives you an idea right off the bat, that's me. Although, and then you guys see this, I have both, that's that very aggressive side, but I also have the opposite side of that, and I try to balance those back and forth. And I think that's the balance you have to have. You have to figure that out. I mean, you have to figure out what's healthy, what's good, healthy tension, and what's bad tension, and what's, good, I guess, good inner peace, and where the peace is so good that you don't want to do anything else. So, you got to find the balance, I think, in all those things.
Have you shared your inner peace with your children have you taught by example if they're upset about something, and have you shared what you've learned about inner peace with them?
More in my later adult years, like, more, recent decade than the earlier years. The other stuff they got from their mother a lot better than myself, because I wasn't there yet. But my children are really balanced compared to me. I mean, you know what I mean? I think, every generation gets better, or should get better. That's what we should try to do, and I know what I'm not disparaging my parents or anything. It's just, you can only do what you're taught to do. You can only pass on the things that you do. And so for instance, violence was part of my upbringing. Mm-hmm. Well, I made sure violence wasn't part of my children's upbringing, and so you have to break cycles, but how many cycles can you break? Well, I did my best to break them all, but, probably didn't do as good as I should have. So, because we all reflect back and think, well, I could have done a lot better with that. Right. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think that overall I've given them we all give them different skill sets, and with your children, they accept some of them, they don't accept them all. And, it's just like you can teach them not to touch the stove, but they got to touch the stove, I've
always said that they can be healed. They can be mended.
They'll touch the stove. I touch the stove, I keep touching the stove. Right. And so,
or when you get served food and they say the plate's hot, you got to touch the plate just to see how hot it
is. That's true. That's the truth. Yeah. Oh, what do you mean I can't touch it?
Of course I can. Of course I can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So is there anything, other words or I'm sorry, go ahead, Charity.
Oh, so with the big changes that came, because you guys had to switch your whole platform. and talking to Tricia.
During COVID, you talk C-suite network and COVID. Yeah, we were meeting face to face as opposed to meeting online. And so those face to face meetings, we were meeting centric in the way in which we were delivering our program, or on location centric would be a better term for it. And of course, COVID hit, and then we lost all that. I mean, we lost every ability to have discovery and conversion through that manner. And so we had to shift all that.
And I've done one hybrid event. I messaged you and I'm like, I don't know how you guys do this. And I messaged Trigger and I'm like, help, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, we were all kind of new to that. And I think people have lost sight of the fact that, yes, you've been on TV, you've done broadcasting, Trigger's done it for a long time, but really we were all so new to all of it. And I realized in that moment, and I had been looking up to all of you because I don't know anything about marketing. I know more now, but it was chaotic, and we couldn't open our restaurant and everything flipped upside down in 5 seconds. We woke up and I'm like, oh my Lord, what am I doing?
Right.
And I did that event. I got through it. The only bad thing that happened is we turned on the microwave, made a bag of popcorn, and the internet went down and Bill went away. He was just like completely gone. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's the worst thing that happens. But in that moment, I really came to realize that everybody on my screen, even though I've never met either one of you in real life, and Joan, a couple of weeks, we'll be able to hug, and Jeff, at some point, you will come have steak. Scotch.
Yeah. And go fishing. And go fishing.
Yes, we are totally going fishing. It's going to be great. I caught a trout. Now I'm squirreling out. I had blood on me for the call Sunday night. It was
what kind of trout was it? A rainbow trout or?
I caught 2 rainbow trout. Dave caught 2 brown and 2 rainbow. Then we caught a bass and some bluegill. So it was nice.
All those are good eating.
We fish in our lake, so we don't catch anything. But Gene sits in a chair and he has a cigar and he has his baker's.
Well, it's acting like fishing. That's close.
He is fishing. He's not catching. He's fishing. So there is a thing. That's what he likes to do. But are there any points of wisdom you want to give us? I mean, for someone who is in the middle of chaos, the eye of the storm is perfect, because I see myself in that situation with the little chaotic things, the condo selling and all this stuff. That the eye of the storm is a great analogy. Do you have any pearls of wisdom?
Yeah, breathe. You'd be surprised how much breath can change the way you do things. And during that chaos, we speed up everything, right? Mm-hmm. If you were just to take a deep breath, or 3 to maybe 5 of those during that time period, you'd be amazing how much clarity you have. So breathing is so fundamental to our life. And if you just, during the middle of this, whenever something big happens to you, just take one deep breath. And it's amazing how much clarity comes to your head immediately upon that. The other thing is, it's important for each of us to find our quiet time. I call it cave time. There's certain times in the day I just need time. I don't, I love my wife. I don't need her to talk to me during that time period. I just need to gather my own thoughts and be inside of my own head. And I, she does that every single day. She meditates every morning, and what a difference it makes for her each day. And when she doesn't, it just helps her to, it helps you to check yourself before you wreck yourself for the day. Mm-hmm. And so there are 2 times during the day that I really enjoy. One is early in the morning. I make breakfast, I do all the stuff, and I sit there with my cup of coffee and I just by myself. And that's cool. I like that time period. And I sit in my chair and I look out over my yard, my fields, my river, my bridge, and I just contemplate the day, and I think through the things that I want to get accomplished and what I want to do and how I want to do it, right? And it's during that time period where I'm so productive and so just ahead of it. And then at the end of the day, the time to sit down in that same chair, quite frankly, and have a glass of scotch and reflect on my day and the things I need to do and how I need to do and what could I have done better and how could I do it better next time and what, prioritize, and then, of course, wake up in the morning and do it again. And so that's my time that I enjoy. And some people do it through walking. Some people do it through other ways. I mean, some people have to lay down in a bed and, put on headphones and do different kinds of things and hear and do a mantra and do those. I don't need that. I just, I can do it. I tell you where I'm the best at it. My best Zen or inner moments is on the back of a tractor,
That's
with
nice.
headphones on, listening to country music and just not paying attention to music, but just thinking, and, watching the eagles and watching the swallows as they dive bomb me as they're picking up the insects around you and everything else. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and I still think of, I was going to show you a picture. I don't have your phone number, probably just as well, but I was going to send you a picture of my bacon jar that says bacon.
Oh,
so I don't have jars of lard around and need to put bacon on there. I thought that was funny on Sunday.
I need a jar that just says bacon, that with a lid on it for the bacon grease. I posted that this weekend for those that are listening. I posted a picture of, does anyone else still do this? I'm surprised the number of people that still do it. Now, there was a number of people who were appalled and said, your arteries and everything else, but my grandmother cooked bacon every single day. And she lived to 105 years old, and she had the worst diet in the world. And she was about as tall as she was around. Okay. And I love her, and I still love her. And she's my grandmother, and, hardworking and everything else, but she ate well. And by God, I love bacon. And I love this morning I had bacon and sausage this morning.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. And eggs for all you people that are worried about your cholesterol. I got low cholesterol, so no problem. I got other problems, but no problem with that one.
Well, and it was great talking with you, and thank you for spending time with us and explaining your inner peace, and we love chatting with you.
Well, thank you. What a pleasure. And I love moments where we can talk about things like that aren't just about marketing or sales or conversion funnels or Kagers or whatever it might be. And it's just nice to be able to have good conversation with good people, because good things come from it.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to go to a commercial message, and we'll say goodbye to you now. Don't go anywhere. We want to ask you a couple more questions. And I want to thank everybody, and we'll see you in a minute.
Finally, a better way to hold your phone. Introducing Steady Straps. Made here in the USA, Steady Straps are high-quality, flexible straps that adjust to hold virtually any phone comfortably and securely. Steady Straps are washable and come in a wide range of colors and styles. See them all at SteadyStraps.com. Because they're so visible, they're the perfect promotional item to advertise your company message or logo. Learn more at SteadyStraps.com. That's SteadyStraps.com.
Welcome back, everybody.
That was one heck of a commercial break.
Yeah, we're in different clothes because, hey, we forgot.
I think we were just so excited, and then we had more calls to hop on. So, or it's just a shiny squirrel moment. One of the two.
I think it's a shiny squirrel moment, but no, I was excited. It was a good conversation with Jeff, and I'm glad that he took the time out of his schedule to come with us.
Heck
and
yeah.
share.
It was awesome.
It was great. I'm sorry. So yeah, we're in different clothes. We kind of chuckled this morning when we found out we did that because we have Jeff's show coming up, and we realized that we didn't have a exit. So I want to tell you, we're excited. We have Thomas DeBull coming up on the 3rd of June. The 10th of June is Annalie Dreesen. And we also have on the 17th, Dan Silberberg. And we are so excited. You guys are really, really going to enjoy the conversations. So as we wanted to do this, when we recorded this, I'll end in a prayer. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord turns his face towards you and give you peace. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.